Rebuilding trust after an affair is a process. Both spouses play a very important part in this. For the spouse who had the affair, the burden is heavy. It's their role to be honest, truthful, and committed to the marriage. They have to provide the foundation that is consistent enough to build trust. It is very difficult and sometimes frustrating because they must wait for their spouse to respond, to believe that the changes are real. As the offending spouse works on changes that will rebuild trust, it's the role of the other spouse to begin to accept those changes. This can be very hard to do and usually happens very slowly. The spouse who has been hurt will do everything they can to keep from being hurt again, and so it becomes a very long process. Sometimes it's helpful for the spouse who had the affair to ask the other spouse what he or she can do to rebuild the trust. This gives the offending spouse specific things that they can work on. If you're the spouse who's been unfaithful, let me give you some things you can do that will help rebuild that trust in your marriage. Number 1, repent. Truly repent. Number 2, show remorse from the depths of your soul. It's never going to work if your remorse is because you just got caught. Be willing to do everything it takes to rebuild trust. Be accountable with your time. Your spouse needs to know where you are and what you're doing all the time. Make your life an open book. Cell phone, computer, emails. Cut off all contact in any form with the person you had the affair with. This may even require a job change if it was a coworker. In all aspects of your marriage, stay at the comfort level of your spouse. Answer every question, be totally honest, and find someone to be accountable with besides your spouse. And most of all, pray. Lean into God, let Him work a miracle. And if you're the spouse who's been hurt, here's some things that you can do. Forgive. It may take time, it may take a lot of help from God, but it's essential. Nothing justifies a spouse having an affair, but you need to honestly look at your life and see what, with God's help, you may need to change so you can be a better husband or a better wife. If your marriage makes it, you're both going to have work to do. Be careful when you ask questions about the affair. Sometimes too much information can be overload. How many details do you really need to know, and how helpful is this information in the healing process? And for you too, pray. Lean into God. Let Him work that miracle. Now, this is not a checklist by any means, because healing's a process. You're going to go through these points over and over again, but if you do, the possibility of rebuilding trust can become a reality. Rebuilding trust takes time, it takes perseverance, and it takes consistency. Unfortunately, there's no shortcut.